What's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here, and guess what? It's Saturday, and it's time for a Movie Phantom's horror review. We got, on this side, I know there's a 4-pack here, but we'll be focusing on this one right here, The Serpent and the Rainbow. And over here, Shaun the Dead. Boom. You know, I'm 30 years old, and I still just get random boners. What's up with that? I thought that was like something you did when you was a teenager. Like, I don't know, I'll just randomly be like, oh shit, it's getting hard for no reason. No, I'm just standing here in line at a grocery store and it's getting hard. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing at this point. It really is. What does that do with anything? Not a goddamn thing. I'm just running my mouth. Alright, so let's start this thing off right. Oh, and if you hear any random singing in the background, that's Maya. She has an American Idol video game. So she's just doing karaoke in the other room. And I was like, I'm doing my video, and she's just like, it's okay, shut the door. So I shut the door, I can still hear her, but well, whatever. So if you happen to hear her singing, that's her in the other room. So. Alright, so let's start things off. We're going back to 1988 with The Serpent and the Rainbow. Boom. Basically, Bill Pullman, he plays this guy who basically, I'm not sure exactly what his job is. Like, I don't know if he's just a guy who, if he's just a traveler, or if he is literally just like sent into random places just for the sole purposes of getting stuff that's connected to medicines. But either way, he finds out that there is some voodoo going down in Haiti, which I'd just be like, fuck you, I'm not going down there. But, you know, he's not mean. He goes down there. And he basically, they have a feeling that it's connected to some kind of powder, some kind of voodoo powder. And so this pharmaceutical company wants him to figure it out and bring it back to him. And, of course, when he goes down there, he gets into all kinds of shit. So this is a movie that, you know, when I watched it, literally, I just thought it was freaky. And not really terrifying in the sense that it's, like, not really a whole lot of jump scares or it makes you scared when you watch it. But for me personally, and once again, I went over this numerous times with you guys, I had this weird, with voodoo. Like, it just, it weirds me out a little bit. And this movie, it's all it is. I think it will stem to the fact of being buried alive. Like, I would never think that'd be a major fear, but it's also one of those things where I'm just like, I don't want it to happen. And literally, you watch it, and for me personally, whenever I watch any movie, you know, there's always a spot where you're like, you know, regardless of what genre either, you're just like, you know, what would I do in that situation? You know, as you're watching, you don't say it out loud, you think in your mind, but at least for me, I'll be like, you know, what would I do? And I'm like, if I'm in this dude's situation, like, what would I do? I'm just walking away. Like, fuck the money. I will get a job as a consultant at some kind of research facility that pays like, you know, $15 an hour, and I sit on my ass making little notes and shit. That's it. No, this guy's like, I'm gonna go into the heart of Haiti and try to, you know. It starts off pretty crazy. It starts off with him in the Amazon, which, you know, is an entirely just weird sequence, but it does kind of connect with everything else, because whereas they do kind of tie the voodoo to being, you know, to there being like a practical reason to, you know, the powders and whatnot, and it kind of being a show, it also proves that, you know, or at least in the movie, that there is a supernatural aspect to it. And the same thing goes whenever he gets this medicine in the Amazon, where he has to drink this kind of juju juice, and basically he starts fucking tripping balls. But he sees this spirit animal, which actually in turns helps him get out of the Amazon. And you're watching, you're like, well, what's that do with anything? Like, it just kind of jumps from it, unless you're just establishing that he's an explorer. But then later on, like, his spirit animal kind of comes back for him and, you know, kind of helps him in that final battle. Yeah, this movie's really good. I think the story's really, really good, well done on it. It's a well-shot thing. It is kind of weird, though, and maybe I'm kind of speaking out of turn here. Maybe everybody will disagree. But it does seem like whenever people mention Wes Craven's movies, that this is one of them that just kind of get lost in the shuffle. And it's not to say that no one likes it, because it seems like it does have a great following. It just seems like nobody talks about it. It's just kind of weird. It's one of the, when you do bring it up, you're like, oh yeah, I like that movie too. Wes Craven did great on it. But it just seems like it's almost like it has to be kind of forced out. You know, someone has to kind of, you know, bring it out people to talk about this movie. And it's kind of weird because I mean, it's one of those that I rarely watch. But when I do, I'm just like, man, it gets better each time. Like, I just enjoy it more each time I watch it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to say about this. I mean, that, you know, hasn't already been said, you know, a few times before. But the acting's great. I think Bill Pullman, who I'm not really a big Bill Pullman fan. And I know it's a joke that they do on Family Guy and American Dad all the time, that how he's kind of a forgettable, bland actor, and you can easily get him confused with like Jeff Bridges or Jeff Daniels or whatever. It's so fucking true though. Like, I don't know, like in all those actors they always mention, they always throw Bill Paxton in there for some reason, which I don't see how anybody would get him confused with anybody else, because Bill Paxton to me had a lot of character, a lot of energy. Bill Pullman just doesn't for me. Like, I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. He's the one that I just kind of like, he's like my least favorite of that entire batch of actors they throw together just because they look alike or sound alike or whatever the case may be. But he does really good in this movie. I dug him in this. And this one definitely, it explores the realm of voodoo. And, also kind of, like I said, it has other stuff too. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the shaman was doing in the Amazon, like what that's considered, if it's just some kind of weird mystical stuff, or if that's, considered voodoo as well. But I mean, it kind of incorporates all this stuff. And I really dug that. And not just that, but it also has, aside from, like I said earlier, like, to me personally, it's just the voodoo aspect of that is freaky. Such as to me, the best scene in the movie is when he gets hit with the fucking dust, and he is stumbling around trying to get someone to help him, and he can't. And right before he blacks out, he's just like, don't let him bury me, I'm not dead. And then when he gets buried, like, to me, the spider wasn't even the scariest part. Like, the guy puts, like, after he's dead, he's inside the thing, and they put the spider in the coffin with him, and they're like, that's just to keep you a little company. Like, I'm like, I don't care. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't want a tarantula crawling on me, but that's the least of my problem. Like, I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about that. You just buried me alive, And the spider only comes into play, like, once when it's on his face, but I'm like, it's not going to attack you. I mean, it's going to just keep crawling because you're not really moving to really incite it to bite you, But, I don't know. To me, that was just like, it just seems like, fuck the tarantula. You just buried my ass alive. Luckily, he made a friend in a former zombie, or whatever you want to call it, who helped him out, so, lucky him, I will say there are still two scenes that one scene I completely forgot about, and I don't know how I forgot about it, I just did, was, I guess you call it the torture scene or whatever, where they're kind of giving that warning to Bill Paxton, get the fuck out of Haiti, and they got him, he's naked, he's, tied to the chair or whatever, and I vaguely remember that scene, because I've only seen this movie like maybe 2 or 3 times, but for some reason I was like, what's going to happen next? I'm curious, like, what are we going? How's he going to get out of this? But the guy has like the spike and a hammer, and he's like, you want me to leave? He's like, no, I want you to scream, which seems like something right straight out of a James Bond type movie, except in this one he actually gets tortured, and dude, he puts it right there on his junk, and of course you find out later it's a scrotum, but you don't know if it's the actual testicle. I mean, when you're watching it for the first time, you don't know what the fuck he's gonna do. And dude, when you hear him scream, I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, and that's still effective. Like, I watched it, I was like, oh fuck, And then and at the end of it, they explain, he lives, and he's all bloodied or whatnot, but he's like, they just went through the sack pretty much. And you're just like, doesn't matter. Like, to any guy out there watching, that's fucked up. Like, I don't care you hit the ball or the sack or anything. You just touch anything in that general area, it just makes it fucked up. And then the other scene was, and I believe, at the very beginning, when it's like, 7 years prior to the events of the movie, we get this little kind of prologue scene where Christoph is being, he's at the hospital and they're just kind of verifying he's dead. And of course, there's no heartbeat. They put the thing in front of his nose to see if, if it, the mirror to see if, he's breathing or not. But then the last thing they do, they take a little pin. I kind of forgot about this too. And they go right underneath the eye, like right there. And and I'm just like, oh shit. And there's no movement because once again, he's a zombie at this point. He can't move, he can't do shit. So yeah, no, I mean, this is some crazy scenes right there. Once again, I don't want to say underrated, because I think it does get its proper due. It just seems like no one really talks about that much. It just seems like when it comes to Wes Craven, we always go straight to Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hills Have Eyes, Last House on the Left. We hit all these first before we get to this one. And I'm not saying, for whatever reason, I ain't gonna lie, I do prefer those movies over this one, but I kind of feel like this one kind of gets lost in the shuffle a lot. And that's unfortunate. But yeah, I highly recommend, if you have not seen Serpent and Rainbow, check it out. Damn good stuff. Damn good stuff. Alrighty. And up next, we got, from 2004, Shaun of the Dead. To me, the definitive be-all, end-all fucking zombie comedy. Like, to me, as much as I like Zombieland, and I'm sure this Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse was pretty good, you shouldn't even try, because you will never top this. Basically, Shaun is a slacker, and it's just basically, his life's, I wouldn't really say falling apart, because it's one of those things where maybe it seems like his life's going horrible, but then you see things can get so much worse when you throw a zombie apocalypse on top of it. But basically, the zombie apocalypse happens, and now he has to try to, make sure him, his friends, his family, and his girlfriend, or his ex-girlfriend, survived it. This movie, I don't even know, this is going to be me blowing this movie completely. I love it. Like, it literally is just one of the funniest fucking movies ever. Like, it does not lose any of its punch. It's still as funny now as it was back when I watched it, and I think I watched it probably in '05, I think, I think I missed the initial whatever, but like a year later I caught it on DVD and was like, holy shit, this is hilarious. And these guys, they did Space before this, which was, really hilarious show. You get a chance to check that out. But they go on to do the trilogy, the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy, if you will, the Hot Fuzz and At World's End. And these guys are just brilliant. They have a tendency to not only make something funny, but to put this emotional core in it. And this movie, I think, has that in spades. Like, literally, it's multiple different relationships it touches on. Like, the first one, it's not really as emotional, but it kind of touches on the whole, like, stepfather, son or stepson relationship. And when, Philip's dying in the car, it's a nice little thing. And amidst of all this comedy, they're flying down the road, there's, metal on the radio or whatever, but then, like, they have this, like, little touching speech, and you're like, oh, that's kind of nice. But the fact that they can go, like, and it's kind of, give credit to Simon Pegg. Granted, he is a hilarious, comedic actor. He's also a damn good actor in general. To be able to pull this performance off, because, he does go straight from, being kind of goofy, and once again, not really trying to be goofy. There's a lot of things that are just ridiculously hilarious, but they're not, I don't think they're just, like, trying to be funny. There's like a scene where he's trying to, like, look at the pub. Like, they're in the backyard, the pub's over the fence, they just need to make sure if it's clear. And there's just a fucking, like, little bitty slide there. Like a little kiddie slide. He climbs up the line. And but he does it, like, so serious. Like, he's just, like, he's not trying to be funny. He's just, because he has to check out, it just, I don't know. Shit like that is just funny to me. And then, of course, we have, which I think is honestly probably the most, truly, emotional scene. Like, this is if there's one out of three, I think, that's more touching, it's this one right here. It's with him and his mom, when he finds out his mom has been bitten. And dude, like, Simon Pegg knocks it out of the park. Like, and once again, I think people can dismiss it because it's a comedy, but it literally is a very touching, emotional scene. And when he's got to say goodbye to his mother and everything, and of course she, has the flowers that, he initially bought for her but threw them away because he broke up with his girlfriend, and there's a whole story there you guys already know about because you've seen this movie. But to me, I watched that and I'm just like, oh my god. I love the guy who played, what was his name? The friend. He played by Dylan something. I can't, Dylan Moran. I can't think of his name now. Anyways, it's David, I think. The prick with the glide, he was like Harry Potter all growing up. I love that guy, and he's really, if you get a chance to watch Run Fat Boy Run, which is another Simon Pegg movie, he's definitely funnier there. Now in this movie, he's funny, but you also fucking hate his guts, because he's just that, because every zombie movie has that asshole. It happens, and he's the asshole here. And of course, we all know that, once, his mom dies from being bitten, that she's going to turn into a zombie. But he's the guy who literally stands up first with the gun and cocks it right there. And even though he's right, I think Liz puts it awesome. Like he has a point, even though he's being a total twat about it. That's exactly. But you're still kind of on Simon Pegg's side. Like, he has he basically has a broken bottle up to his face or whatever, and he's definitely not thinking straight, but at the same time, you do sympathize with it, because, that's a very powerful scene right there. Which is, to me, that entire sequence, like, I think the last whatever minutes is great, because, you got a lot of comedy, like, leading up to that scene, when they got the big guy, and they're hitting him with the pool cues all to the tune of Queen, which is just fucking brilliant. And then, of course, you get that scene right there, which is followed by the whole, between Shaun and David, is it David? I don't remember, but fucking Harry Potter, when, he fucking punches him out after he has to kill his mom, and then, when he goes down, he goes for that gun, and of course, click, and just that look on everybody's face, and then look on his own face when he pulls the trigger, this movie literally does have a lot of great acting. not just, you know, the comedic parts. And then, of course, the, you know, toward the end, and this spoiler alert, sorry, it is over 10 years old. You know, when, Nick Frost, what the fuck's his name? What's his character name in this? Ed. I don't know how I forgot that. I'm sorry. Whenever I watch movies, I rarely know character names. I'm more on actors. But, you know, when Ed, you know, when you know he's going to die, and they just have this touching, and it's still funny because they do that reoccurring joke of Ed saying, "I'm sorry," and then, you know, Shaun not quite getting it, and he goes, "No, I'm sorry." And then, you know, he just farted or whatever. But it's still, like, it's a very touching scene. But, you know, the emotional stuff aside, it is fucking hilarious. It's very well written. And once again, I don't want to call it a spoof because it definitely stands on its own. It makes plenty of references to the movies it loves, but it has a lot of original stuff too. And I think that's the problem with a lot of these movies today. Like, I have not seen The Walking Deceased, and I'm sure it could be a fine movie, but to me it looks like the same slew of bullshit that we saw with, you know, the scary movies, which I like the first two scary movies. Beyond that, fuck them. 3's okay, but 4 and 5 completely. The epic movie, the date movie, like anything those two fucking homos do, that Aaron whatever, Seltzer and the other guy, like, I hate all those fucking movies. They're all just worthless pieces of shit. Vampires suck, and I have not seen the Starving Games, but I'm sure it's just fucking horrible. The reason why this movie excels is because it not only has a passion for those kind of movies that it's spoofing and making, you know, I won't say making fun of, but referencing. But it's smart enough to be like, okay, here's what we're referencing, but then here's our material as well. Whereas those other jackasses will just kind of do the quick parodies and then that's it, we're done. Like, not even add anything new to it. Just like, we're going to show a fat guy fall down in a panda costume because, you know, Kung Fu Panda just came out last week, and then that's the joke and we'll just move on, and that's retarded. Whereas this one, I mean, it definitely has all the, you know, references. You know, my favorite one right off the bat, it's the most obvious one, but I love it. You know, Shaun's mother is called Barbara, and of course, you know, the zombie apocalypse is already underway. The plan is go get her, kill Philip, sorry, and, you know, get Liz, go to the pub. And so when they're on the phone with the mom, and, you know, he's like, "Stay right there," and then Ed grabs the phone, he's like, "We're coming to get you, Barbara," and I'm just like, fucking brilliant. That's the kind of reference you do. You don't just do this random cutaway to, you know what, no, that's how you do a fucking, you know, reference right there. Yes, I just love, you know, there's a lot of little bits that just kind of keep coming back. You know, he's got, you know, a marker explodes in his pocket, so everybody's like, you know, you got a bit of red on you. And then later on when he ends up, you know, killing zombies, he's got blood on him, and of course they're like, you know, you got a little bit of red on you. I love that. Like, that just, to me, that's my kind of humor right there. Yeah, I highly recommend this. Like, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's funny, to show how great this movie is, Maya, who completely despises any kind of foreign movie at all, especially British. I have a lot of Monty Python and the young ones, and I watch them all the time religiously, and she fucking hates it. She just can't get into it. She was laughing like through a lot of this, and I was like, really? Like, what the fuck? You can't laugh at this. This is British comedy. But yeah, she loved it too. So I mean, that just show you, like, you know, just how universal this became. Yeah, highly recommend it. Boom. I love the ending. Like, that's another thing too, because I mean, they take the concept of the zombie apocalypse, but whereas every other zombie movie ends bleakly pretty much, this one ends this complete opposite, where it's just like it's a happy day. Like, it literally, there was Z-Day, you know, it happened, but then it's like, all right, we moved past it. It's almost like, you know, this horrible tragedy that did wipe out a lot of people. No, we're back to normal, and like, you know, now they got, like, you know, zombies on a, you know, game show. Like, it's like a, you know, Wild and Crazy Kids, like, you know, but it's zombies instead. And they're on talk show. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing, but the fact that he gets to keep Ed, because Ed pretty much was just a zombie before the apocalypse. Basically, all he did was sit around, play video games, and, you know, that was it. Didn't contribute nothing, not only to, you know, the friendship between him and Shaun, but he didn't really contribute nothing to society either. And now it's like, it really is like the best kind of ending because, you know, yeah, he's a zombie and he's chained up in the shed, but it's like he's still just sitting on the couch playing video games, contributing nothing. And I love that. And then we end with, you know, Queens, you're my best friend, which is just brilliant. So, yeah, highly recommend it. I can't say enough about it. Like, now at this point, it's just going to be me spouting off my favorite scenes, and you don't want that in a review, so boom. Check it out. Serpent and Rainbow, check out as well. Yeah, good stuff. You know, classic Wes Craven, classic Voodoo, and then of course Shaun the Dead, just fucking classic. So, all right, guys, that's all I got. Movie Fan, I'm out.